Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to our series. Today we have one new scenario, that is account has no lookup to contact. So standard roll up won't work. So we have to update the count of contacts on the account. If we see the context of this scenario, then we will understand that we have to write the trigger on the contact, and we have to update the total number of contacts on the account. And with that scenario, we also understand that here we have to catch the details from the contact, that when it's get inserted, updated, deleted or undeleted. Okay. So in that for context, we need to check the account details on that contact, and based on that, we have to update that particular account with the number of contacts. So now I just created one trigger, that contact count on account, and four context variables. As I mentioned, as per the scenario, we require that whole four context variables which will work on the after operation. So now, first of all, we will create one set of collection of ID to store the account IDs. Account ID is equals to new set of ID. Okay. So here we created one variable, that is set of ID and account ID. So now I am checking our major condition, that trigger dot is insert or trigger dot is undelete. So why I use insert and undelete together? Because you know that for insertion, whenever the new account is new record will get created, then insertion is happen, and whenever the undelete operation is performed, that time also reinsertion is happen. So both are the same scenario, but only when we perform the undelete operation, that time this reinsertion is happen, and this insertion is for the first time initial insertion is there. So I am just fetching the account IDs from the contacts which will insert or reinsert. First of all, that for the insertion and the undelete, we always use the trigger dot new. Check if that contact has account ID or not. Dot account ID not equals to null. If it is not equals to null, then set that add that account ID into our collection. Add con dot account ID. Save. Account IDs to avoid the confusion. So here, whenever the record will insert or whenever the record will reinsert, we are extracting that account IDs, and we are storing that account IDs into our collection variable account IDs. So for insertion and undelete is done. So now check for the delete operation is delete. If it is trigger dot is delete, then check. You know that for the delete operation, we always use trigger dot also contact con trigger dot hold. We always use trigger dot hold. Okay. Now here also we have to check that contact has account ID or not. Dot account ID not equals to null. If account ID not equals to null, then store that account ID into our collection variable. Add one dot account ID. Okay, whenever the account will get delete, that time this account ID will be stored into our collection. So The last is trigger dot is update is update whenever the update operation will happen, we'll check that his account ID is changed or not. If account ID is not changed or account ID is changed, we will store the ID into the update operation into our collection variable. So look for that contact whenever it will get change. Contact con trigger dot new. Okay, so first trigger dot new. So now you know that update means old value and the new value. If account on the contact will get changed, that time we also gather the old account details and the new account details. Okay, so because we require old account to reduce the count of the contacts from that account. Okay, because we are removing from that from that account from that contact. So that's why we require the both old value and the new value into our update operation. So I will gather that old values into this variable by using the variable by using the trigger dot old map dot get this con, okay, dot id account id. So all old values of this account will be stored into the old contract account. So now we have to check that if account is gets changed or not. So how we can identify that this account is gets changed or not. Just we have to compare the new value with the old value. Okay. So here I am adding the if condition that if con dot account ID is not equals to old con dot account ID. Okay. If the new value is not equals to the old value, then we will check that if con dot account ID is not equals to null, then add these account IDs into our collection con dot account ID. The same condition is for old man. Old con dot account ID not equals to null, then store the same old con account ID into our collection variable. So now this is done for the is update operation. What we did here, because we know that for the update operation we have to check that if account ID account will get changed from the contact, that time we require the both old account details and the new account details to update the count. So we gather here old account details from the contact, and here we are checking that if account is gets changed or not, and if account is not gets changed, that time this will not run. Okay, if the particular contact is updated or after the update. Okay, so after the completion of that, now we have to proceed further for the updation of the count. But so now we require the IDs. Okay, so we have that account IDs. First of all, based on that we will check that particular our set variable is not empty. If it is not empty, we will start with our next operation. Okay, so here we check that our set variable contains IDs. If it is contains IDs, we will proceed further. So I am creating the list of accounts to update, because here we have to update the account. So I am creating the account to update list of account. Okay. So now we have to gather the IDs and the total count based on the account ID. We have to gather the total count of contacts. So I'm creating one map. With the map, I will map the integer, that is contact count map equals to new map of ID integer. Okay. I created one map variable to map the account ID and the contact counts here. So to do that, we have best option to make one query on aggregate result object. Aggregate result AR equals to select. What we have to get? Account ID. This is the variable count of ID. Okay. I'm giving the variable name total from contact here account ID in account IDs. Okay, and group by account IDs. Okay, so I added one query, the aggregate result. From that, I am getting the I'm fetching account ID and the total number of contacts. Okay, so now we have to map these details into our contact count map dot put. Okay, so first of all, we have to map the ID. So we are mapping the ID AR dot get. What is the variable we use? AC. Okay. The next one is we have to map the integer. Use the AR dot get total. So here we map the account ID. And here we map the total number of count from the contact. So this aggregate result query will give the total number of counts with respect to account ID, and we map that and we store this into our contact count map. So now proceed further to update that contact records, account records. So we have account IDs into the account map here, that this account IDs ID ACC ID. Okay. So now we have to check that particular account ID is available into or not into our contact count map. If it is available into the contact count map, then after that we can update. So I am just putting the condition if the contact count map dot contains key of ACC ID. If this map contains this ID, then only we will proceed that account AC equals to new account. Okay, AC dot ID equals to ACC ID AC dot we have one field, that is number of contacts. We'll get this. Let's wait for a minute. AC dot number of contacts, okay, equals to, we have to get account dot get ECCID, okay. So this contact will be assigned to the number of contacts here, and after that add that account into our list. Then after the completion of the for loop, check this particular list is not empty. If it is not empty, then update that list of account, okay. So this code is done right now. Here we are updating, here we are inserting the total number of count from that of that account, okay. So let's check for the real time operation, that how it is working. Go to the account, okay, see this authenticator is there. We have zero number of contacts on the authenticators. Go to the contacts, create one contact, record test1 demo1 html, save. Whenever I will save the record, go to that particular account record of that contact. You will see here one contact is populating, and here you can see number of contacts is 1, okay. I will add another account, another contact, test2 demo2 test.com. The duplicate contact record found the same email, okay. Email we have to change, test1, save, done. Go to the Ajinkya Traders, 2 accounts are there. Here you can see number of contacts equals to 1. This is for the insertion, okay. So now go to the update operation. So now here you can check account is Ajinkya Traders, okay. I'm making the duplicate screen. Let's check here, this 360 Cloudy has 4 contacts. Also here number of contacts is showing 4. I'm just updating the account on that contact. Instead of I'm changing that Ajinkya Traders to 360 and save that record, okay. So here account is changed. So go to that account, refresh this. You can see here number of contacts is 5. Here is also get updated. Now check for our Ajinkya Traders account. Here refresh. Earlier 2 records was there, contact records. Now 1 contact record is there. Earlier count was 2. So now we can check here, the count is 1, okay. So now we check for the insert operation and the update operation, okay. So now we will delete 1 record. Now we will check for the delete operation. Go to the contact on the cloud, 360 cloud, and I'm just deleting this first one. Already it has 5 records. So now go here, refresh. From 5 to 4 records are remaining here. You can check here, count is updated to 4 from 5, okay. So for delete operation, count is get updated successfully. So now we have to check for the undelete operation, that recycle bin. Go to the recycle bin and perform the undelete operation, that is restore, okay. Once you restore, go to that account record. You can check here the refresh. Number of contacts is 5. This contact is reinserted. You can check the total number of count is 5. on that particular account. Means or four operations: insertion, update, delete, and undelete is updating the number of contacts accurately on the account record. Okay, so likewise, we can perform the operation of the update of number of counts on the account. Okay, so I hope this scenario will be helpful for you to understand the concepts of the trigger, to understand the concept of aggregate query, to understand the concept of map, list, and set variable collection variables collections. Okay, and this will be helpful for you all to understand the concept of scenario. Okay, and this will be helpful for the interview purpose as well. So thank you guys, that's for today. Tomorrow I will come with the new scenario. Okay, thanks.